is Turning 2. I'm Andy. This week we're going to be looking at Orphan and 500 Days of Summer. One which is clearly better than the other. Orphan is a horror movie about a family who adopts a girl, and she's evil and she begins kind of taking the family apart. It's what I would call meta horror in that it jerks you around. It shows the camera zooming in and you think it's someone who's about to grab the main character, but then is nothing. It's just the camera moving. Or a mirror will slide and you think something's going to appear right behind her, but then it's nothing. And it does a lot of that. It does a lot of jerking you around, and it does a lot of just kind of ridiculous things. There's a part of me, and I'm pretty sure, they're just joking the entire time. It's all just a big joke. But it's still sort of scary, and it's subtle enough to where you're not totally sure. Maybe they're being serious, and no, they're being kind of ridiculous here. Spoiler alert, the girl has a hormonal disease which creates relative dwarfism, so she's actually like 35 years old and a psychopathic killer, so that's why she appears to be a girl. And that's really all you need to know. I mean, it's over the top, but not indulgent. It's skillful in that way of, you're not totally sure, but you know, you're kind of laughing, and that's weird in a horror movie. But Orphan, it's like a 4. It's okay, but fun. I enjoyed it. 500 Days of Summer, a movie that's kind of come with some hype around it. It's had like that leafy shit around the title, and really fell flat. This movie was horrible. It was unrealistic, it was juvenile, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Basically, you have some 20-somethings who are each out of college and have jobs, and they meet each other and fall in love, and then their relationship falls apart. And that's about it. And how they act and their reactions to the relationship feel straight out of my high school, basically. I mean, if this had taken place and they're each like 15 and 14 or something like that, it would feel much more realistic. Instead, you just have two really selfish characters who don't know that they're selfish and won't admit that they're selfish, acting together, and it's just unbearable at times. Zooey Deschanel plays a character of a girl who doesn't exist, and that's the writer's fault. No one acts like that. No one is that selfish. No one is that filled with wonder, and I just don't buy it on any level. The directing, the use of music is really indulgent, and they try to develop the characters of this. You know, they like the Smiths, or they like the Pixies, and they karaoke these songs, and that's really empty. It doesn't develop the characters, it tells us like peripheral details about them. But the movie acts as though it does, that it does, you know, tell us who they are and what they're like. And basically you get the kind of empty relationship that the two characters had of, you know, it's based on these details that don't mean anything, and that's what we have with the characters. That's our relationship with them, an empty, nihilistic, horrible movie. You know, I mean, there's just, this year Adventureland is better at dissecting relationships. I mean, before that, you know, High Fidelity or Annie Hall do the same thing in a much more dynamic and accurate way. There's really almost nothing redeeming about 500 Days of Summer. It's indulgent, it's juvenile, and just repugnant on a lot of levels. So it's like a 2, maybe a 2.5. Next week on Turning 2, we're going to be looking at Funny People and something else not starring Adam Sandler.